welcome you all to my YouTube channel, English Videos. So friends, I'm back here again with a new chapter this time, and this chapter is strictly based on spoken English. Friends, in the last video, I promised you that very soon I'll be back with a chapter of spoken English. So I am here. Friends, in this lecture today, we're going to discuss how we can introduce ourselves to the people around. Friends, there are three types of people whom we can give our introduction to. Friends, it's not like you are a good speaker of English language so you can give a good piece of introduction. It's really not so. Giving your introduction in an effective way has nothing to do with how well you speak. It is what you speak. The points that we are going to speak, the detail that we are going to tell to the people must not be the same each time. There are various situations where we are supposed to give the introduction. There are various people before us whom we are going to give the introduction to. So, as there are various people before us we are going to give the introduction to, the pattern, the format of the introduction we give or we follow should be different. So in this lecture today we are going to discuss the points which we should use at certain places. Overall, the sum and substance of my words is that the points that we use to introduce ourselves must not be the same at every place. Here in this lecture today, I will tell you when we are going to face an interview for a job, what point should we speak, and when we are talking to someone stranger and we just want that person to know something about us, what are the things that we should tell and how we should actually begin our introduction. Then there is the third scenario, if some relative of ours, some friend of ours is going to ask us about ourselves, what are the points that we should tell to him or her. So friends, to know all these things, stay tuned with me. Okay, friends, here on the board I have written something. Let us take a look. First of all, here the lecture number 1 of spoken English. This is my channel, English with Ease, and here the topic that we are going to cover today is how to introduce oneself. Friends, in this highly competitive world today, it is quite difficult for one to get the jobs, right? And whenever you go to face an interview for a job, you just start giving your introduction. It is really a common thing. Whenever you are going to face an interview, the person, especially the interviewer, asks you the first question, that is, tell me something about yourself. May I know something about yourself? These are the questions that the interviewer asks us, and we have to give the answer in a very effective way, effective manner. If we are able to make an impression on the person who is going to interview us, definitely there is a possibility that we will definitely get the job, right? And here we just need to present ourselves very effectively, very differently, right? So friends, here the introduction can be divided into 3 scenarios. Scenarios means the situations where we can face a situation we are asked to tell something about ourselves. So here the first situation is to an interviewer for a job. So as just a moment ago I was telling you that it may be that we are going somewhere to get a job and the interviewer asks us, tell me something about yourself. Here, how will you present yourself before the interviewer, and what are the details that you are going to tell to the person, and what are the things that you will begin your introduction with. So friends, here the important thing is that whenever you are going to give your introduction to the interviewer for a job, the person is not interested in your name, your qualifications and all. Why? Because when you went there for interview before you were called in for interview, the person uh, asked for your resume. The person was having your resume, so he is not interested in your name, your address, and all, right? So, what should be the effective way that we should begin our introduction with? Friends, here, that person is looking for something that is not mentioned in your resume. And what are these things? These things are your experience, your skills, your strengths. So these are the three things that you should mention in your introduction whenever you are giving it to the interviewer, especially the one for job. So friends, how will you just tell this experience, skills and strength to that person? This is also a question. Now, I'm going to give you a mock introduction. So friends, pay attention. This mock introduction will be helpful to you. Pay attention to each and every word that I speak. Hello, myself Shyam Sir. I am a teacher. I have been in this profession for about 10 years, and this 10 years experience of mine has taught me how I can tackle with the worst situations that I might face in future. This 10 years of experience of mine has turned me into a skillful and resourceful person. I can use my ability, my skills in the best possible way to benefit the organization where I'll be working with. I am a diehard and a workaholic person. I never give in before the adverse situations. It is in my blood to complete something that I have started. In my leisure time, I love to read novels and write whatever I observe all throughout the day. This is all about me. Thank you. So friends, this is the way whenever we are in front of an interview, especially for a job, this is the way we should present ourselves before that person. Friends, one thing that you should keep in mind is always maintain an eye contact and end up your introduction with a smile on your face. If you follow these points, definitely you will be doing something different, and when you are out of the cabin of the interviewer, definitely after the interviewing process is over, the interviewer will definitely consider your case. So friends, let us now move on to the second scenario. The second scenario we have is whenever we are there to give our introduction to a stranger. Friends, it happens a number of times that whenever we're going outside, or we have just got admission in some school or college, we have the classmates, right? And these classmates are unknown to us. Whenever we are going somewhere and we're in a metro train, we are in a bus, we are in a park or somewhere else, right? And then we just meet some person who we are totally unknown to. What actually happens at the time? We just reach that person for some reasons, and then we start talking to them. And at that point of time, when we have just shared few pleasantries with each other, that person might raise that question, might know something about yourself. So here, how can we present ourselves before that person? This is the next point that we are going to discuss here. So whenever we are going to give our introduction to a stranger, that stranger might be your co-worker, your colleague, your classmate, and your co-traveler. It can be anyone, right? So how we can present ourselves before that person? This is the question. So let us find the best possible answer of this question here. Friends, here when we are going to introduce ourselves to a stranger, the points that we have just discussed in this sort of interview, in this sort of introduction will not be repeated or will not be used in this sort of introduction. So points will be different. That's what I told you in the beginning of this video, that we can never use the same details, the same information to give our introduction with all the people, right? So there are a lot of situations, that different people whom we are going to introduce ourselves to. So here, friends, let's know how and what things we should tell whenever we are talking to strangers, especially when we are giving our introduction to strangers. First of all, this stranger is completely unknown to us. So we should tell this stranger our name, the place where we belong to, the place where we are from, and if you want, you can tell about your qualifications, about your current status. I mean, if you are pursuing some course, you are studying somewhere, you are taking lessons, or you are just working somewhere, you can also tell the name of your company, right? And you can tell about your hobbies. So friends, now listen to this demo introduction for this scenario. Pay attention, friends. Hello, my name is Shyam Sir. I am from Balagad, Faridabad. I am a teacher. At present, I am working with Takshala Model Senior Secondary School as an English teacher. I'm a person of laid-back attitude and I believe in living the life at its fullest. Listening to music and playing cricket are a few of my favorite hobbies. This is all about me. Thank you. So friends, you can see what I have just told in my introduction, whenever this introduction is especially to a stranger. The rest of the things can be told whenever the person is asking you for the same. But when you are asked the question, give your introduction, or may I know something about yourself, please tell me something about yourself. So you should always reply in this way to these questions, the way that I have told you now. So friends, whenever you are giving your introduction to a stranger, make sure that you are not supposed to give the details, especially the personal details, the details which you think that these are very confidential, or that these details are going to break the privacy of your life, right? Because in this world today, we cannot trust any person. They might misuse these details. Do not try to be familiar with the strangers. This is just a piece of advice to you. So friends, this is just a process that, this is just a scenario that I was going to tell you about. Now here the third scenario tells us about to a friend or relative. So friends, we can also give introduction to friends as well as relatives. Friends and relatives are already known to us, right? They know about us, maybe not wholly but partly. Partly here means few things they know about us. Maybe they know our name, they know where we live, they know maybe the name of my father and mother, and few other details as well. But here we are not talking about what those people know about us. Here we are talking about how we can present ourselves before these people, friends and relatives. So friends, whenever you are going to give your introduction to one of your friends, you can use the same format, the same points that we have just used for this scenario, right? And the final thing that comes is the family background details. family background details. So friends, here the person who is going to ask you, may I know something about yourself? You will tell about your family background only when that person asks you the question, tell me something about your family background. So unless the person asks you this, you are not supposed to tell about your family background details. Friends, here we will know what are the points that we should tell in our family background. Let me here just give you an idea. Pay attention. Ours is a nuclear family or joint family. You can either tell the person that yours is a joint family or a nuclear family. Joint, you understand, nuclear means that you are living separately from your uncles, aunts, grandfather and grandmother, right? So if you are living separately somewhere else, right, that simply means yours is a nuclear family. So you can say us is a nuclear family or us is a joint family. There are dash members in my family. Tell the number of the members in your family. Tell Mr. XYZ, the name of your father. Mr. XYZ, my father, is a doctor, is an engineer, is a serviceman, is a businessman. Tell about his profession. First you tell the name, then you tell about the profession or the occupation of your father. Then tell about your mother. Mrs. Name of your mother, Mrs. XYZ. She's a homemaker. She is a housewife. Again, about the occupation, profession, or the status of your mother, whether she is working or she is just homemaker or housewife. Then tell about your siblings. I have dash number of brothers and sisters, including me or excluding me. When you say I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, if you say including me, means all are 3, including you. If you say excluding me, it means 2 brothers and 1 sister. Excluding me means there are 3 brothers in all, 4 siblings in all. Then you can tell about the details of your siblings, about your brother and sister, like what your brother does, what your sister does, and as well as the names of your brothers and sisters. So friends, with these details, family background ends. So friends, in this lecture today, we have just understood how we can present ourselves before the various people who ask us the question, introduce yourself, or give your introduction. So friends, with this, I'm coming to an end with this lecture. But before I end up with this lecture, let me just tell you, it was in the last lecture that I told you that I would be giving you at least 10 vocabulary words per lecture. So in this lecture, you will find these 10 vocabulary words within the video with their explanation. Do watch the video thoroughly and learn those 10 vocabulary words. I have used those words in this video. So friends, stay home, stay safe. I'll be back with a new lecture for you.